opening scene, here we have a father that is touching the tomb of his father. And when we talk about legacies, about following within your father's footsteps, that's what it is. There is a huge heaviness to that.
Father, I'd like to ask to join Duncan, Idaho on a scout mission to Arrakis tomorrow. I've studied the Fremen language. I'd be an asset.
Out of the question.
Duke Leto right away comes off as this dictator, authoritative answer to his son's question. It is immediate. Out of the question, we are not even going to debate this. And as being a leader, you're used to just giving rules, and people follow suit to that. But he's doing this to his son that is himself going to be the leader of the house, and at an age where he is no longer a child. And so when we are dealing with our parenting, we want to start to give more respect and thoughtfulness instead of authority, because it's no longer going to be as effective.
I've been training my whole life. What is the point if I'm not allowed to face
know
some actual
why,
risk?
Paul.
And grandfather fought bulls for sport.
Yes. Look where that got him.
So they have this banter where Paul is then fighting back. But I love that Duke Leto, he right away looks to the side and he understands that this is not going to be an effective means of communication to him. And he decides to let him in.
I need you by my side. When we get to Arrakis, we'll face enormous danger.
What danger?
And do you see that his tone changes to a soft voice, a voice that I am now requesting, not demanding something of you. And so that oppositionalness, that stubbornness that Paul already has, also softens, because now he has a choice. Now he's being respected as an ally, not as a son that must obey.
Political danger. By taking Arrakis from the Harkonnens and making it ours, he sets the stage for a war.
This also goes to communication, which is one of the biggest errors that often are portrayed in TV shows or movies, that someone doesn't say an important set of information to another person, and that's why a whole bunch of issues happen, which happens in our daily lives also. I love that Duke Leto shares with Paul the enormous gravity of the situation that is underway. So he goes into this with his eyes wide open. There is something greater than him, and he's going to let him in because now Paul is a part of it. And so right away, instead of pushing Paul away, making Paul feel like I have to do my own thing and be oppositional, knowing his personality type, he does the opposite. He says, I need you. And so Paul, with his type A traits, now instead of seeing this as an obstacle where I don't feel like I have my own say in things, I see myself as an ally where I can help my father. I am part of the plan, which greatly increases his want to be able to be there, and he feels like he's a respected member of the team, which goes a long way when we're trying to persuade people and have them be a part of something. And so often, even though we could strong arm someone and make them do what we want them to do, often that causes a whole bunch of animosity which will actually defeat the purpose and make them not want to, even if they should.
Tap the true power of Arrakis, we could be stronger than ever.
Mining spice, keeping the Fremen in their place. We'd be no better than Harkonnens.
No, by making an alliance with the Fremen.
When Paul's father shares with him his grand plan so that they're both on the same page and understanding, Paul feels comfortable enough to honestly debate the reasonings for this. Is this plan actually going to be good, or are we going to be as bad as the bad guys that came before us?
Spice, keeping the Fremen in their place. We'd be no better than Harkonnens.
No.
Paul's father stops him gently with his hand because he wants to face him. And when we want to emphasize a point, we will want to have that eye contact so we're truly looking at someone, because then we can make sure that they're paying attention. And you can see when someone is registering what you're saying versus off in a distance or not paying attention at all.
Here on Caladan, we've ruled by air power and sea power. On Arrakis, we need to cultivate desert power.
And listen to his intonation. His words are precise. They are soft, but they are spoken with diction. He wants to make sure that Paul fully understands exactly that he's saying. And so he slows down his speech and makes sure that he's taking in each and every step of what is the plan. He also brought him to a very monumental place, and that often sets the stage. He is at an area where their family has been buried. This is their legacy. And so also is Duke Leto trying to emphasize to Paul the legacy that he is carrying and the gravity that goes with that. Our setting does set the stage. Where we are does make a difference to the words that we are portraying. And so often we think about what we're going to say, but we don't often think about where we're going to say it.
I want you sitting in on my counsel. Learn what I do.
What if I'm not, Dad?
You can feel the weight on Paul's shoulders of having to fear that maybe he will not live up to this legacy, especially when you have parents that are larger than life, that have done monumental things. It's a lot of pressure on a child, and that fear of failure, especially when you are leaning towards being a type A personality and you want to be good, you care to be good enough, especially to make our parents proud. What if no matter what I do, I can't live up to the shoes that I have to fill?
Not what? The future of House Atreides.
I love the sigh from his dad. That sigh, it really symbolized to me that weight off of his shoulders, that understanding of what Paul is going through, and it's soft and light and loving.
I told my father I didn't want this either. I wanted to be a pilot.
You never told me that.
And then he takes off the gloves to show him the weight that he has to carry and shares his own, what he wanted in his life and his own fears, which right away lightens Paul's mood. Now you see him smile, and there's like a little wry smile, kind of just out of the side of his corner. And a thought of, oh, you've been through what I've been through. You didn't want this either.
A great man doesn't seek to lead. He's called to it. And if your answer is no, you'll still be the only thing I ever needed you to be. My son.
Love that. Like, perfect parenting. I know that it's not in the book. I don't care. This scene is so wonderful because you don't even expect it. Everyone's expecting you to lead the house, but if you choose not to, it's okay. You just have to be my child. How many of us just wished that our parents could say that to us? Have this beautiful moment of full acceptance that you don't have to do anything. You are good enough exactly as you are. You know, you can see the weight come off of his shoulders with that loving touch that his dad gave him, and that confirmation that, you know what, I don't expect anything of you than what you can do, and it's your choice. So Paul being oppositional, also that undoes all of those oppositional armor that I feel my back against the wall, that now he can choose to lead or not lead, depending on what he wants.
I found my own way to it. Maybe you'll find yours. In their memory, give it a try.
And brilliant. I found my way. Maybe, not you'll find yours, maybe you'll find yours. He takes all the weight of the gravity of the situation off of him, yet still gives the little tiny hint of in everyone else's memory that has come before you. He's still showing that there's a huge legacy that he's carrying, but that he gets to make these steps depending on what he feels comfortable to be able to do. This was one of my favorite parenting scenes in any movie. I was so moved by it, and I felt like this is not a scene we usually have by leaders with their son. Usually every time that they are shown, they are authoritative and dictatorship and you don't have a choice, and the child feels so pressured. So I loved this scene. It was one of my favorite parenting moments in the whole movie. Let me know if there was a scene that you enjoyed better, and if you like this video, please hit subscribe.